Hey guys, welcome back. In a previous video, I told you I would give you a bit more of a look at my emergency email server that I had created. Now, first, before we go any further, I got to give credit to Mark Griffith, KD0QYN. He was the one that kind of inspired me to build this project. He has done something very similar, so definitely check out his website. He has complete images that you can download on his website. And that website is pigate.net, Pigate.net. So definitely credit to Mark. There was a few things that I wanted to do that I couldn't seem to accomplish with his image that I downloaded from his site. So I just backed up and decided to write my own image. I wanted to be able to use some equipment that I had on hand, namely my radio, the 857D, and a Signalink sound card. And that was something that I tried to get working with Mark's system and just never could quite accomplish. So ended up writing this system here instead. The way this would work is, let's say you had a disaster area and you wanted to pull up to a disaster shelter and allow people to connect to your system and send an email to loved ones somewhere else outside of the affected area. So they could come up and connect to the email server and navigate to the web address that you see at the top. That's a wireless connection. It's served up by the Raspberry Pi. And then they would be presented with this screen here. From this screen here, they are able to send out an email. So let's just go ahead and enter a quick test here. And I apologize for being in way of the screen. I'm having to shoot this kind of at a weird angle because of the reflections that I'm getting off the screen today. All right, and we'll just enter a test subject there, and then the email would go here. And then you enter your name in this box and press send the email. Now once you've sent the email, you'll be presented with this screen, the end user would, and this would tell them that their message had been queued and it would be sent over the air using amateur radio. So that's the complete portion of it that the end user would see. Now let's take a look at what the ham radio operator would see. All right, so this is the page that the ham radio operator would see. Again, he can control this from an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone or tablet, laptop, whatever wireless device you'd like to use to connect with. Everything is done through a web browser after the initial setup. So you can pretty much use any device that you'd like to connect. From here, we're able to choose which mode we want to run, AX25 for 2-meter packet work, and the RDOP TNC for HF work. So after you've started one of those services, and I've already got RDOP started and running, you can go over to the PAT Winlink box, and that email that we entered just a second ago, if you click on the Outbox tab, you'll be able to actually read that message right there. Now we do add a little bit more information to it. When the end recipient gets the message, it's going to come from my call sign at winlink.org. So the first thing we want to do, and it's the reason we have them enter their name, the first thing we want to do is tell the person that's receiving this email exactly who it was from, and that's the first line. Below that, you've got the message itself there in the center. And then at the end, just a quick note telling them not to add any attachments to replies, and that it was sent over the air using amateur radio. Now, while we're talking about replies, there is 2 different ways you can configure the system. You can configure it to allow replies into the system, or you can configure it to not allow replies into the system. If you told it to not allow replies, instead of it being my call sign at winlink.org, the end recipient would see no call at winlink.org. So you can take a look at the message that's going out. As radio operators, we don't want to send anything that's for profit over the air. So we want to be able to take a quick peek at these messages, make sure that it's just a personal message. If it's not a personal message, you can click the action button here and you have the option to delete the message. If the message is acceptable, then you could just press the X. Everything goes away and you're right back to the PAT inbox. So just like you've seen in the past then with this system, you click the action button, the connect will pick a station. Let's try one of the stations in Florida here, and let's see if we can make a connection. I'm not sure if I've got the volume turned up on the radio or not, so I'm not certain we'll be able to hear that today. So as you can see up here in the top left corner, it shows that we're connected, and then watching the terminal window at the bottom, it'll show you the data transfer back and forth as the message is sent out. And there you can watch the message starting to transmit across the top. You'll see the progress bar as it goes forward, and that is sending out our test message as we speak. So there's a quick look at the emergency email server that I built. Again, huge kudos to Mark Griffith, KD0QIN. Definitely check out his webpage, pygate.net, and you can see a bit more about his system. It's been a fun little project to work on. We gave it a good workout on field day and run into a few little issues, but nothing that prevented us from getting messages in and out. I had quite a few visitors come up and actually hook up to the system and send their own emails to wives and friends and things like that during field day. So a lot of fun to play with. Anyway, until next time, guys.